When you're looking at buying a skateboard, there are things that are more important than the width of your skateboard. So when you're looking at the size of your skateboard, it's usually the measurement from one side of the board to the other at its widest point. I think this is like a 9.56 or something like that. It's a Green Giant from Anti-Hero. But that's just measuring at the widest point. It's a little bit more narrow back here and in the front. But what I think is more important than the width of the board is the shape of the board and the wheelbase. So this has a longer wheelbase, so I feel like it's better for ramps. It's more stable. If I was gonna bomb a hill or something like that, I would get a longer board. That's why you see people who are doing really aggressive downhill skating longboards. So another important thing about a board that might even be more important than the size of the board is the steepness of the nose and tail and how many fingers of flat there are before the tail starts to curve up. So this board has a pretty mellow tail, so it doesn't stick up as much. So for me personally, when I have a really steep tail, it hurts my back ankle because instead of landing over the bolts, a lot of times I land on the tail and I just keep my foot on the tail at all times. And that turns your ankle over a little bit and it causes you to kind of pronate in. So I like to have more fingers of flat and a more mellow tail. The problem with that, the reason people like steep tails is the steep tail just gives you more pop. The flatter tail is quicker to hit the ground, but you don't go as high. You see, when it's all the way down, if it had a really steep tail, it might be like right here. So yeah, it's not forcing you up as high, but it is quicker to hit the ground. So for me, it's more responsive. For a lot of people, this is just what you're used to. Now, the wheelbase controls that a little bit too. So sometimes I like a shorter wheelbase because a shorter wheelbase rotates this way a lot quicker. So if you're gonna do tricks like 3 shoves or 360 flips, you might want a shorter wheelbase. So a longer wheelbase is more stable. I already kind of talked about that. But also, when you're popping, that shorter wheelbase just feels like it pops up and gets up a little bit quicker. So if you had a really mellow tail and a short wheelbase, a short board, you're gonna feel like you're getting up really quick. So sometimes when you first set up a board like that, your ollies are off because everything's going so quick and you can't slow it down. And then when you have a long board, something even longer than this, it's so mellow, everything's slowed down, if that makes sense. Also, the shape of the board really affects your skating. Like if you have a shaped board like this that's wider right here, you've got more surface area to land on. So for me, if I have a wider board like this, I can skate big wheels if I want to. Right now my wheels are really worn down because I've been skating them for a long time, but I'm not afraid to go up to 60 millimeters, even 62 millimeters on a big board like this because it doesn't feel like you have big wheels. The wider it is, the more grounded you feel. You feel close to the ground. Even if you're up higher, it's more balanced. If you have a really skinny board and it's really high, you just feel a little more unstable. It's hard to explain that, but you have to kind of feel it to understand. This wide board, there's a lot of surface area to land on, so I feel like I can land on it really easily. So I actually land my kick flips, my heel flips, all my flip tricks easier on a bigger board. That sounds counterintuitive. You know, it's gonna flip faster on a smaller board, like an 8-inch board or a 7.75-inch board. A board over 9 inches is gonna flip slower, but it's easier to catch because there's more surface area. Does that make sense? Also, this board's really grippy. I've got vicious grip tape on there, so that's a plus. I enjoy vicious grip tape. I like Mob too. It's what I usually skate, but I set this board back up. If you saw the video that said I'm back on the Green Giant, talk about that a little bit. I've enjoyed it. It's gonna destroy my shoes, but I kind of, like, that's why I'm skating it. Because these shoes, they need to be destroyed. I've had these for 6 months and I can't destroy them. I made a video on these too, so check that out a few videos back. But yeah, I mean, that's some of the basic stuff. The nose is important. The steeper noses kind of catch your front foot a little more and keep you feeling locked in, so you feel more secure if you're doing ollies downstairs, or big ollies, so you don't slide off. Some people like a mellow tail and a steep nose. That's good because it's kind of like having a Swiss Army knife. You've got 2 different kinds of blades for different situations. If you have a twin tail, they're the same, so if you do shove-its, you're set up the same and you can skate both sides of the board and not mess up your muscle memory, but you only have one size and shape tail to work with. So sometimes people will switch and skate the nose as the tail because it's usually a little bit bigger and steeper if they need to pop a little bit higher over something. So that's why people have a different shaped nose than they do tail. Also, like square tails, like big wide square tails like this, you feel more locked in and more secure. More pointed nose and tail, you might be able to flip it a little bit quicker, but you're not going to feel as locked in. So yeah, the nose is a little bit smaller and shorter and steeper on this board, but I like this shape. I feel locked in. There's a good amount of concave and it's a larger board. I kind of like skating smaller trucks with larger boards. I was skating the 161s from Thunder on here, and now I'm skating 149s. So the trucks are a little bit smaller. You can see it's not flush, so I couldn't do like primo stalls and stuff, but I just feel like it flips a little easier and it's easier to land on. So yeah, that's what I like about this board. So if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments section below. I've got a lot of videos about this topic, so scroll through my channel, check out my other videos. Also, there's this Tony Hawk competition going on right now where he's giving away $10,000 and he is gonna actually meet with somebody. So vote for me in the description below. If you do, I will make a video with him and I will teach him something weird that he has never done before. So definitely vote for me. You can vote free daily using your Facebook or putting a credit card in. I wouldn't put a credit card in, I would just use your Facebook if you have one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, and hit that subscribe button because I got a lot more videos to come. Thanks for watching.